Hello, Michigan Philharmonic fans. Nan Washburn here to tell you a little bit about a wonderful concert we have coming up on Sunday, March 10th at 2 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church here in Plymouth. It has a very unusual title called Franck, Fireflies, and Fortissimos, and I'm sure you're wondering what that exactly means. You do have to come to the concert to find out the full extent, but I'll give you a few of the highlights in just the next few minutes. We're featuring two wonderful artists, composer David Biedenbender, who's one of the faculty members at Michigan State University, along with his associate, Ava Ordman, who's a professor of trombone, also at Michigan State. They will be joining forces on his new trombone concerto. But first we're starting out with, well, it's Mozart. I know, what's to say. Mozart's Symphony Number 35, called the Hofner Symphony, and that comes from the name of a prominent family in Salzburg who commissioned a number of pieces of his, and this was originally going to be a serenade, and he decided to rework it to be this wonderful symphony. It's, if I had to think of one word, I would say sparkly. It's just zippy and fun and lovely, as always Mozart is. It goes quite fast on the outer two movements, and it's a pretty short piece for a symphony. It's only 17 or 18 minutes, depending on how fast we go at the concert, but it's a great start to what is a beautiful acoustic, if I didn't say that already. The First United Methodist Church has this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful acoustics, and I always like to showcase the music in that space. So that'll open the program. Then we have this amazing work called Their Eyes Are Fireflies by David Biedenbender. And that title comes from his inspiration from his two young sons, who at the time that he was composing this piece were, I think, 2 and 4 ages. And it's basically the idea of everything is, oh wow, wonderments, and their eyes are sparkling. And so he wrote this piece that features the extraordinary beauty of the playing of Ava Ordman. It was written for her specifically, and she's a if you'll recognize her name, hopefully you remember that she's soloed with us. I think it's at least a couple of times. So she's no stranger to us, and just is a wonderful musician. And so this piece really features her, and it's in 3 movements, and I have to read the movement titles because they're so unusual. The first one says Beginnings, and that I think is based on the 2-year-old, and everything again is oh wow, it's brand new, and all the excitement there is. The second 2 movements are based on a slightly older son, Isaac, and I guess his son at one point said, "This song makes my heart not hurt." And David, his father, was so impressed with that he decided to name the movement that, and really explore young person's sincerity in looking at life in a certain way, and how extraordinary that phrase was to come out of a 4-year-old's mouth. And then the final movement is called Isaac's Control Panels, and apparently the older son loves to draw control panels of all sorts of mechanical things, and this is after exploring all these beauty and sonorous sounds of the trombone and all it's capable of being expressive, then it's got this almost kinetic energy for the last movement to really showcase all the virtuosity of Ava as well. So that is just a delightful piece, and I think again it will sound wonderful in that space. After intermission, we're coming back to a work that is very well known and was played and played and played very often, all the time. It's the César Franck Symphony in D minor. It was, I think, just about one of those things that was programmed every year or every other year for many, many years, and then for whatever reason it hasn't shown up on programs for a while. And I was delighted to think, oh, well, let's bring it back. I mean, it's almost like new music. But of course, it's from 1888. It's a while ago when he wrote it. But at the time, it was very controversial. And I think we forget that it was really quite an extraordinary piece. What César Franck did, and politically, it wasn't great probably for his career. But he tried to merge the two styles of music, one of his French colleagues and the other being German music. And they were supposed to not mix, but he kind of tried to bring those two together. It's only in 3 movements, which is unusual for a symphony. It's called, it also has what they call cyclical, because he brings back melodies and material from the earlier movements into the final movement. It has some very beautiful and unusual instruments for the time, lots of English horn, and lots of bass clarinet solos, and harp is featured as well. But what I love about this piece is just the sonority, I'm using that word again, of just the big sound. I mean, very big sound, and again, to show off the big, beautiful space that we'll be in at the First United Methodist Church. But it's going to be a great concert and beautiful, slightly more conventional, but I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Please get your tickets just as soon as you can. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Again, it's Sunday, March 10th at 2 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church. And I think David will be my guest for a pre-concert talk that will probably start around 1:15 that same day. So I hope to see you there.